What's up, guys? LQ here with the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me here at my YouTube channel. This is where I talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that I love to talk about. And right now, let's talk about the Blake Lively movie, It Ends With Us. I did not catch this movie while it was in theaters. It came out about the same time as Deadpool and Wolverine did, and I watched that a couple times in theaters. It also came out right after my dad passed, and I didn't really feel like spending a lot of time in the movies. Even though I wanted to watch this one, it was just something I was going to wait for streaming for. And it's out on Netflix now, so I made sure to catch it. And I gotta tell you, I really liked it. Like, I can see why it was such a big hit. And it wasn't the type of movie that I thought it was going to be. You know, you see these movies about spousal abuse, and it's always about the husband abusing the wife. She escapes, and then he hunts her down. And at the end, there's some sort of life or death battle that happens within the home. Sometimes there's kids at risk. Sometimes the only thing at risk is the wife, but there's always high stakes at the end, life or death scenario, and the husband dies. That's the way these movies have always gone, and honestly, that's the way I thought this one was going to go when I first started watching it. But something happened during it. I realized that they're not telling this horror film about spousal abuse. They're giving us a picture of what spousal abuse often looks like. More times than not, what spousal abuse often looks like. Two people who are very much in love, a man who has problems. It can be a woman who abuses the man, but it's usually the man, right? So a man who has problems, anger problems, trauma in his life, whatever the case may be, there's problems, and the abuse starts small, and then it grows and it gets bigger until you get to the point where the wife is in a scenario where she doesn't know if she can leave. It's harder to leave than it is to stay, and that's exactly what Blake's Lively character says in the movie. It's harder to leave than it is to stay, or it was her mom who said that. Either way, they get in this kind of trap where they just can't leave, and they just end up living with this abuse. And the end of this film, this is spoilers. All my reviews are spoilers. If you've been around here, you know that, are spoiler reviews. So at the end of the movie, she has her baby, and he's with her, and he wants her back. And I think that they've gotten to this place where it's like, okay, we love each other. But she looks at him and she says, I want a divorce. And he's like, let's not do this. And she says, I'm doing this for her, for our daughter. What would you say to our daughter if a man did the things to her that you did to me? And he said, I would tell her to leave, and I would tell her to never go back. And that was the climax of the movie. And I thought it was perfect because it illustrates that these are real scenarios that people deal with in their life. I'm fortunate. I've never had to witness any kind of physical abuse in my life. My parents never abused each other, never abused me. There's no abuse going on in my household. It's just, I've never witnessed it, so I'm fortunate. But it happens, and it happens a lot. And the people who commit the abuse, while clearly doing a terrible thing, they're not movie monsters, right? They're not movie villains. They're people. And they're people who need help. They're people who need counseling. They need therapy. They've got things wrong too, and they need help. And please don't think that I'm in any way saying that the actions of this guy in this movie was okay, because they weren't. They were bad. He was the bad guy. He was painted as the bad guy, and at the end of the movie, it ended with him being the bad guy, as he should have been. But it ended with him being a human being too. A human being who was capable of feeling love, a human being who was capable of understanding, yeah, I've made mistakes and I need to get help. Not a movie monster. And I just really appreciated the way that this movie presented that conflict. People can do bad things, and people can do bad things to each other. but they're not movie monsters. The only way to get rid of them is by dropping them off the third story of a house at the end of the movie. You know, there's other ways to fix the problem. Divorce, therapy, counseling, whatever the case may be, there's other ways to move on. And that's how it normally happens in real life. So I appreciated the real picture that they painted here of this conflict that, while I've never seen, I know that a lot of people do. So this was a good movie simply based on that. It felt very real, it felt very heartfelt, and it felt very genuine. And I thought Blake Lively gave an excellent performance. So, good movie. Not one of my top 10 of the year or anything like that, but I'm definitely glad that I watched it. So, it ends with us. I know we're late getting to it. What did you guys think of it? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there commenting, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.